Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1826A, and today's date is March 27th, 2019, and the title of the episode is The Patriots Strategically Box in the Fed. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about the crypto market. Cryptos are back in full swing. Trade Genius over the last 30 days has netted its traders nearly 27% on their money from 3 crypto trades. Take control of your financial future. Right now through March, for the spring specials, you can save over 50% off their bundled specials. And or use promo code SPRING for 40% off all non-bundled items. Check out TradeGeniusAcademy.com. Tell them X22 sent you. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, as we know, the Patriots, they have planned all of this out way before Trump was elected. And the plan includes getting rid of the Fed. The plan includes getting rid of the deep state. The plan includes exposing the deep state and the central banking system. And they planned all of this out way in advance. And they have contingency plans to make sure that if one plan, the direction they're headed, doesn't work, they can automatically move over to the contingency plan. And if that doesn't work, they have another plan. Now, we know in the UK, the Brexit is continuing. May is in trouble. And when you look at the polling numbers out in Britain, we see that 70% of Britons support May's handling of the Brexit. Now, that should tell you something right there and then. Remember, the people around the world, we're seeing the yellow vests in France. That is spreading around the globe. We have Angela Merkel, who said she's not running for re-election. May is saying, listen, I'm not going to be running for re-election either. Actually, I'll step down if you just go along with the central bank plan. I mean, this is how desperate they're getting right now. So the public opinion in the UK is not on the side of May. According to a poll of more than 2,600 British adults conducted by the National Centre for Social Research, shows that May's handling of the Brexit is not good. That she seriously botched the entire thing. Now, what did she botch? She didn't listen to the people. She's working with the central bank. She's putting forth the central bank plan. Now, the people around the world, they are waking up to what is going on. They're starting to realize that the central banks, they are in control of what governments do. And of course, what's part of all this? The deep state. Now, what the Patriots have been doing here in the United States, they've been boxing in the Fed so there's nowhere for the Fed to escape. Think about this for a second. Trump came out and he's been contradicting the Fed over and over about the Fed raising rates. All of a sudden, the Fed does a 180 and they said, you know something, we're not going to be raising rates in the year of 2019. Maybe one in 2020. Now, remember, the numbers look fantastic. GDP way up, unemployment way down, stock market doing fantastically. We know these are all manipulated numbers. These have been manipulated going all the way back. Trump is using the central bank, the deep state weapons against them. And what have the Patriots done? Well, if the Fed raises rates, they're screwed. If the Fed lowers rates, well, guess what? They're kicking the can down the street. The economy will continue to deteriorate. Really, there is no way out of this. Remember, Trump has the magic wand. Remember, the data is manipulated, which means, and I do believe this, we've been in a recession for a very long time. We're just not reporting it. And all Trump has to do is saying, listen, it's the Fed's fault. And that's what he's going to do. Now, very interestingly, Peter Schiff is saying that nobody is going to buy the Fed's BS next time around. Because look, they're telling us that the economy is doing fantastically, and we're going to raise rates and tighten because the economy is doing well. Then they decided to back off that, and the economy's still doing fantastically. Actually, the economy's doing a lot better than it was when Obama was president. I mean, if you look at the statistical numbers, it's doing a lot better. Why would the Fed back off unless Trump and the Patriots are in complete and utter control? And they are in control. So what can we expect to happen here? Well, most likely the system will need to be kept up. Now, holding the rates steady can only hold the system for a short period of time. I do believe that the Fed is going to end up maybe dropping the rates. And what's very interesting is that Yellen was out there, and she's saying that the bond market could be hinting we need a rate cut. Now, the Fed doesn't want a recession. Not at this point. Why? The spotlight is on them. If they raise rates, if they push any type of recession, if they try to do anything, Trump points the finger at the Fed. What has Trump been doing all this time? We're bringing back jobs. We're bringing back manufacturing. We're renegotiating trade deals. We have tariffs in place, and it's not what the mainstream media has been talking about when they talk about tariffs. Remember that the percentage on tariffs is the first purchase of those items, and usually it's a middleman, and it's somewhere in China. So we're never going to see, the people of the United States are never going to see the percentage added on to the products that we see here in the United States. I mean, it's very, very low odds that we will see any of that whatsoever. So the mainstream media, they've been pushing that argument. But guess what? It's not going to come true. So as we move forward, we know that the system is very, very unstable because everything is manipulated. This is a gigantic illusion. And Trump needs to hold the economy together long enough. So what is he going to instruct the Fed to do? He's going to instruct them to lower the rates. Because lowering the rates, the people on Wall Street and people that have been investing, they're going to say, whoa, the punch bowl is back. Now we can go ahead and we can put more money into the stock market. We can borrow money. We can do all these different things. Trump knows this. He understands that he needs to do this because he needs to win the 2020 election. Now, after the election, we're definitely going to see a recession. But it's not the recession that everyone thinks it's going to be. Why do I say this? What does a recession do? Well, it allows you to do things you normally wouldn't be able to do. Well, the country's in a recession. The country is now entering a depression. We need to do extraordinary things to save the economy that the Fed has destroyed. Remember, a crisis allows you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. Think about the last crisis back in 2008. What did they do? They introduced QE. They bailed out corporations. They bailed out banks. What do you think Trump's going to do when the system falls apart? He's going to introduce things that normally wouldn't happen or wouldn't be allowed, and Congress would stop them. Once we have this crisis and the people see the crisis, Well, guess what? Do you really think they want to lose everything? Do you think the people of the United States, after working very hard, want to lose their life savings, their pensions, and everything else? Well, Trump will be able to do things that he couldn't do before because we have this crisis. He's going to be allowed to clean out many, many things. Actually, he might even say we need to default on this debt as we get rid of the Fed. Why do I say this? Because once we're in a crisis, guess what? You have the event for an audit. Once we're in the crisis, manipulation on precious metals kind of goes away. Gold starts to rise. Trump realizes this and says, you know something? We need sound money to bring back confidence to the system. And we need to audit the Fed to see what they've done. Why did we end up this way? A crisis allows him to do these type of things. It allows him to reset. It allows him to get rid of the programs in government. You know, the entitlement programs. All he has to do is say, listen, we're in a depression. We need to cut expenses. And this is what I propose. And during a crisis, what are people going to do? Argue with him? No, you can't do this. I'm trying to save the country here. We're auditing the Fed right now. We're finding criminal activity. We can see that we don't have enough funds to pay out all these different things. Gold is shooting up. We need sound money. The world is not accepting the Federal Reserve note because of all the criminal activity. And we need to place the system on a sound money system. And you can see how easily this can play out. And you can see how Trump can use a crisis to bring the entire system to its knees and completely reset it. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.